I sometimes use words that I have never written down. I have never actively tried to memorize. By the way, this is how babies learn, right? It's helped me learn hundreds of words. You'll be amazed by the results. What is going on, guys? It's Radek here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having an amazing day thus far. In this video, I want to talk about a method that is super overlooked and criminally underrated. It will help you become fluent faster by increasing your vocabulary. It's helped me learn hundreds of words without writing them down or even trying to deliberately memorize them. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the thing that I want to talk about today is actually very simple. Just listen to the same podcast episodes, watch the same YouTube videos, TV shows, movies multiple times. And please guys, do not take it lightly because this is one of very few things I wish I had known about and actually incorporated into my English learning journey way sooner. So guys, let me tell you how I do it and why it actually works so well. So when I listen to a podcast or watch a video for the first time, I focus on the words, phrases, idioms, like phrasal verbs I don't know or I'm not sure that I know their meaning, or the words, phrases, idioms that seem pretty cool and I might want to use them in the future. So I pause the podcast or I pause the video and I quickly look it up. So when I listen to or watch it again, most of the time I remember what those words that I've looked up actually mean. And if I forget the meaning of a certain word, I look it up again. And by the time I watch it the third or fourth time, I remember all of them. If you're still a bit skeptical about this because you've heard that listening and watching are only increasing your passive vocabulary, then that's probably true, but only if you're doing it one time. So I don't think it actually applies when you're doing it multiple times. And by the way, this is how babies learn, right? They hear the same things over and over again, and over time, they can use them themselves. And this is something I've noticed in my conversations as well. I sometimes use words that I have never written down. I have never actively tried to memorize. I've just heard them enough times before. And I've got to tell you, it's such a cool feeling because they come to me naturally. It feels like the word or the phrase that I want to use just fits perfectly in the sentence. And the best part is that more often than not, I actually use them correctly and in the right context. And by the way, I do the same thing when I read books. As you can see, I hope you can see that. I put a small mark in the top corner of each page every time I've read it. And I read every page 3 times. I don't read like the same page 3 times in a row because that would be boring. I read like 5 or 6 pages and then I go back to the first one and I reread it. And again, when I read a page the first time, I circle the words that I either don't know or I want to remember. And I look up their meanings. What I also do is I underline the most important information from the book, something that I want to learn and remember from the book. That's how I do it. I know it takes longer to finish a book, but I don't mind. I don't read it just for the sake of reading. I read it to increase my vocabulary and actually learn something. Now, let me quickly touch on 3 important things I want you to remember. Number 1, you have to pay attention to what you're watching or listening to. It can be just mindless. You can just put on a podcast and just play it in the background. You won't catch the words that you need to learn that way. Number 2, you don't necessarily have to watch the same video, for example, again the next day. You can watch it in 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days. Number 3, you won't be able to do this with every single video that you watch or every single podcast that you listen to. So pick the ones that you like the most. Otherwise, you will get bored and it won't be as effective. So guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the likes, all the comments, all the support. I really appreciate that. And I highly encourage you to give this method a shot. Listen to or watch the same things 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 times. Pay attention to words or phrases you find useful or worth remembering. and you'll be amazed by the results, just like I am. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. I just heard them before. Shit.